Guys, we've just had a question up again now from Brenton. He said, will the helper bots have a higher RNG chance than executing an action?
Yeah, so let's touch a bit on the helper bots. Basically, helper bots is your opportunity to fight those that would be clever enough to set up a hot wallet script that could perform actions on the exact cooldown expiry of any rank point action. So in the protocol we have different actions you can do that will give you rank points, and the more rank points you get, you advance in rank. The higher rank you have, the more powerful your character is. Actually, rank is the single most powerful thing contributing to your power vector in the entire game. That is your rank. So ranking up will obviously be something that is of high priority for everyone to become as high as ranked as possible. Um, so for us to give regular players a real chance against scripters, we had to provide basically an opportunity for you to to basically assign a contract value that gives you a bundle of actions for some sort of credit value, and that is the helper bot. So imagine you can buy 1,000 helper bot actions for 1 key. Now you can say, I want to have 1,000 actions on this specific crime action that gives me X amount of rank points. That will have a cooldown of 3 minutes per action. So, whatever that number is, 48 hours you can log in, or 22 hours later you can log in. And now that bot would have performed that on the perfect timing 1,000 times, right? And you would receive all of the in-game currency generation inflation from those events. You would receive all of the rank points from that event. You'll receive everything that you would have received as if you were the one who clicked every single time, right? So this is the only way that we can offer a competitive tool to those that have a scripting advantage.
Right.
And the way it's going to work is quite simple, that you will simply have to spend a key to buy a helper bot. And some have already won them through crates, and some will get them for free through their Player Plus, because you can decide to spend a key on the helper bots, or you can decide to gamble your monthly key on a crate or whatever, right? But the helper bots will become a very essential part of not only the game, but actually the entire economy as well. Because as the game goes live, the helper bots will generate more capital income than any other aspect of the game, I personally think. That will become the new key. The keys and the helper bots will become the two most capital bringing to the vault, even more than the taxman, I'm quite sure.
Sure. Well, and even more than the bullets, theoretically, because that actually has an action use case. And so you're saying that the helper bots are going to be gated to key only, so there won't be some kind of perk through business or multiple business ownerships to give you ability to buy in-game, let's call it helper bots, that are not through key generation and or random crate opening.
Yeah, we have to be scarce with the helper bots, because they are going to be a income element in the future. So we really want those to be rare for now. But when the game goes live, you can obviously just straight up buy the keys that you need, and then you can decide, what do I want to use the key for? Do I want to go to the market? Do I want to upgrade my profile? Or do I want to have helper bots? Or do I want to open crates? What do I want, right? And one of your options will simply just be buying these helper bots so that you are competitive on the ranking side. If you don't have the bots, that's completely fine. It will just take you longer than someone who has them, because that's the only way we have a reliable way of beating the scripters.
Right. Right. And so, like, here's if we want to go deeper down that route. So if you're doing 3 action-based or 3-minute-based turns to permit a crime, rob a car, do a heist, do whatever, can you put a variable in what actions you're trying to do? Or I guess, before we go deep down that role, how are the random encounters being spawned within the map for these particular crimes? Because how I would think about it is you have a Venn diagram of businesses, areas that are shady, areas that are more ritzy, and then those particular exploits of what gangsta stuff you can do in that area is precluded to the region that you are doing that in.
I think You are probably overthinking the crime element here a little bit too much. What you're thinking about is more heists and organized crimes and mega OCs. These are the things you're speaking of here. The completely standard regular crimes are literally just text-based actions where you make a choice between, let's say, four chances. Do you want to go for robbing a hot dog stand? It gives you a 95% chance because you are a very high-level mafia don, and you can obviously rob a hot dog stand with a high percent chance. But if you attempt to rob the jeweler, that will give you a better payout if you're successful, but you also have a lower chance of succeeding. So basically, we have an RNG element that will either A, give you successful crime operation done based on your transaction, and it will give you an inflationary action where you get some in-game currency for that action, or it will put you into jail for a failed action, and now you have a complete time delay on the entire site. So for X amount of time, you won't be able to leave that page that is being in jail. And if you're doing a large cocaine smuggle, you can be in jail for 30 minutes where you literally cannot leave that page with your account. And these elements will be click elements where you decide what crime do I want to make based on the chance of succeeding or the income opportunities, and as long as they're successful, you get the ranking points, and that is basically what matters. The income, I think, will become a secondary positive of doing crimes. Doing crimes' main objective is to rank up your character, just through a time delayed action.
So you're not actually traveling to different locations, same even in text base or a mud base or all the rest of that. If we go to
Yes, you are, but that is for the smuggling, because the way we
Mm.
built the smuggling part is that every city has an RNG on pricing. So imagine in Palermo, maybe cocaine is really cheap, right? We have an RNG that moves a range between, let's say, 500 and 1,000, okay, dollars for cocaine. But in New York or in Las Vegas, the RNG moves between maybe 1,500 and 3K. So what you want to do is basically buy it in Palermo, smuggle it to Las Vegas, dump it in Las Vegas, and then do the round trip constantly wherever it's most profitable for you to move. So what will end up happening is that you have to structure, like, if you have a cooldown on flying, which is the most profitable thing to do in the game, basically the best way for any user to generate in-game cash is through smuggling on the plane. And that's also expensive to do. But when you do that successfully, you get a lot of in-game cash for doing it. And it requires both a time delay, it requires a successful purchase, a successful sale. So there's all sorts of scenarios where you can fail during that, and it will delay you further, right? And it will basically just trade your time and attention for your allowance to inflate the in-game currency.
Yeah, no, exactly. And that's what's really interesting is now you have the different city ecologies and economies to themselves, or if we go back to Civ, you have trade routes. And how do those trade routes work locally? Helper bots, though, I assume are region specific. Like you wouldn't actually script your helper bots to fly the planes back and forward, or is that kind of a feature set that's going to probably be rolled out at a later date?
No, the helper bots will be able to do that, but what we do is that generally the helper bots is just a calculated average, expected average from the exact same. Imagine we just calculate what would the result actually be if we did all of these actions completely normally manually, right? Then we just take an average from that and then add a range RNG so it can kind of move, let's say, 20% up, 20% down. So that we just automatically assign as your result with the same delay as all of those actions combined.
Right.
Yeah. So that's the
Okay.
easy way of solving that.